Okay, it's recording. All right, so let's remove this brick, and I'm gonna just, you always start off, just pump a little bit of, and I'm gonna do a little in the front.
You said no gloves right now, right?
That's up to you. That's up to you. I mean, I'm not gonna do it right now, only because and I'm gonna try to. Wow, some of my equipment's starting to get a little bit old. See, I need to maybe. I'm probably not far off from needing to replace that. In fact, it came off. Now this is that feeder. They're out of. Obviously, it's out right now, but they're able to come up through the center there. So.
Now, do you use protein blocks or anything? I've heard people using.
Yeah, I bought them. I have them on hand, but quite honestly, I've never had to use them yet. The pollen patties is what you're referring to, I think, right? Yeah. So kind of what you do is you get, because they're always going to have the propolis. It's always going to. So I try to gently just kind of. I come into both two corners here, see, and I pretty much popped it loose there. Yeah. So I'm gonna. Remove this, and they're all over the bottom. See, they're all over the bottom of it and everything.
Yeah.
But you kind of just go slow, you know. And when I stack these things, it's always at about a 45 or something. I don't lay them flat on the ground and see they've started building some comb like this. So first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna smoke them a little bit, and that'll get them inside. And then I'm going to hang, this is a nice little thing I discovered after a while, is you can hang one or two frames on here, and then you have room to adjust them inside, you know.
Okay.
First thing, let me, set this here for now.
Now you melt that down too, right?
Yeah, it all goes into I do it once a year, usually just once a year, maybe. I'll end up melting it down, yeah. So what we'll do here is, this is where this part of the hive tool comes in handy. Now I don't see them really, as you can kind of pop them apart. And I'm careful to come in here and just gently, and they'll usually move out of the way, you know.
Right.
And then now this one's loaded with honey because it's pretty heavy.
Yeah. Boy, that looks pretty.
Yeah, it is. It's
pretty.
Yeah, it's all capped honey. That's how you can tell. It's all sealed, and just. You want to get an idea of the weight?
Yeah.
So kind of just pick it up just like that, and just gently put, just to get a sense of the weight.
Oh boy.
Yeah, see, multiply that times 10, in a box, and then that's so I already can see.
Wow.
See, I don't have to go I don't really have to go in here and pop every single frame. I'll look down inside, and I can see that this one's all full of honey. This one's full of honey. Now, these frames I got from somebody are a little different. Normally, you won't find these metal dividers. So they just literally. Another thing too is what you generally want to do, because it's their home, right? Is you always try to put back the frames the same way you found them. Okay. Don't interchange them or whatever, because because a lot of times the brood is going to be, if there's any brood, and I don't expect to find brood in here. I'm gonna go to one of these center ones. Usually that's where they'll definitely. Here's where I'm just kind of breaking loose some of this propolis.
Now I'm in their flight pattern. I should probably.
Yeah. You probably want to come on the side here. So I'm gonna lift. No, see, I'm wrong. See, they do have. So now here's the way. See, that's all capped brood, and that tells me that queen is doing a pretty good job. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one on here. We'll get the magnifying glass. We'll see if there's any eggs.
Actually, light's over here. Light is better over here.
Yeah, it is. Oh, okay, yeah. So probably don't even, with sunlight, we may not even, now you can see there's a few there that they're probably getting ready to cap. They start growing big pretty quick. Trying to see if I see. All right, look on these bottom ones down here. You see that little tiny, it's smaller than a grain of rice. You see all those are all eggs in there.
Oh, wow.
See them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and because the sunlight's really good right now, and I'm gonna
grab that.
And you can, you know what I'll do is I have a YouTube channel. I just occasionally put stuff up there like this.
Yeah.
I'll end up putting this on the computer and I'll upload it and then I'll give you the link, and then you can, because this is all recording right now. Hopefully it's getting a good picture.
That's flipping bee.
It won't be that. It'll be my personal one, but. So these other ones, I'm just looking in here. So right away I know, and this is back to that pattern I was telling you about. That's indicative of a very good pattern of eggs.
Yeah.
Even the cells that are empty have something in them. So that queen, to me, tells me right away she's doing her job. She just laid those. Those are brand new eggs, so I got a viable queen.
Right.
And the only other thing I'm going to do on this one here, and I don't see any evidence of, hive beetles running around or anything like that. It's a good hive. But I'm going to pop this one off and we're going to go into the bottom. Okay. So I'm not going to go through every single one of these frames because it's just not necessary to do that. That one right here. See, it's a lot of times the yeah, she's good and heavy, that one.
Yeah, it is.
All right, girls, don't get underneath it. I probably should have smoked it again a little bit. That's all right. It's too late now. She's back in there. All right, so and also, if you got multiple soup, now I've got 3 here. As I said, I kind of experimenting a little bit by doing mediums on this one. Like same as that one.
Yeah.
But consider this, your main hive body. But when I take these off, I'll put them like this, and then I put them back the same way I took them off. In other words, the same,
Yep.
So
let me ask you, so typically the brood and the honey are supposed to be separate, right?
that's
if you're using an excluder.
Yeah, if you're using an excluder, definitely it should be keeping the queen out, and the workers will just go up there and just put honey in there,
Okay.
But, if I was extracting right now, that one frame has got nothing but honey on it and everything.
Yeah.
The one that's brood in it, I wouldn't be pulling that one.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't want to mess the brood. Now this should just lift off pretty good because I got it. Usually, as long as you get it on one side good, then like that.
Can we lift it off there?
I'll get it. I'll let. And that one's. Get a feel here. I'll set it down and you just get a feel for the weight.
Yeah, you're not right.
And see, it's not. That tells me if that was full of honey, that would even be heavier than that. But so it's a mixture. It's definitely a mixture. Okay. Send him with just a little bit of a few puffs.
It's so cool. I really appreciate you letting me try it.
Oh no, not at all. All right, so
A little frame hanger is the ticket.
oh, definitely, yeah. There's a dead bee. These are really in there good. Sometimes while I got my hive tool in here, I'll crack several loose. Now these are pretty tight, so I can tell I'm gonna use my lifting tool here.
Okay.
And this really just you just go in. I'm gonna grab this third one here. you just kind of go in just past where it,
Just past the wood there.
yeah, and then kind of, this is the one I don't think I loosened up. Let's see here a minute too. This is where the end of the tool works. And kind of pop it a little bit. Not too much because you'll crack. I've done that too as I've put a crack in here, you know.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of, just most of the time, just break it, get it loose a little bit. There we go.
Oh, that's all brewed. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, so.
Now I see some of it's a little bit darker.
Right here, it's just older comb. It's just older comb. This is going to be. It may have been there for a while, but that's, see, they got their heads buried there. The smoke probably drove them in there, but those are, see, the pattern on a frame that's got a little bit of everything. Usually in the very center, around the center mass area, you're going to find the brood. Then you're going to find sometimes pollen around that, and then sometimes the honey on the outer edges. All right.
Now these are Italian bees?
Yeah. Lots there. Look at that. Yeah, this is a healthy hive. They're doing good.
There was some pollen on the, there was a green, yeah, right there. You just went around the other side.
Oh, okay. Walking around with pollen to deposit it somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, I want to find one with a lot of pollen on it so that you can see what that looks like. Let's just, we're not going to go through every single frame on this either, because like I said, I already know that I've got a good hive here.
Right. Oh yeah.
From the evidence. So this is where you got to be careful. See, I could easily have crushed that one.
Yeah. And
then maybe pissed them off, and then they'd start. You got to sometimes be really careful not to jerk them. This is all honey on this one, and it's darker because, like I said, it's older frames. It may have been capped that may be capped for a while. I'm gonna just go look at another. Yeah, a little bit. You can kind of tell that they're.
Well, that works so cool.
These look like they're mostly just honey. I'm going to pull one more here and just to see. But once again, back to that frame holder. Once you get one or two of them out, then you have room to work a little bit. You can shift them, you can shift them all.
Right.
Let's see, I busted open there. Busted open some honey. Now see, this is where they either did it or they were preparing. Yeah, that might have been a supersedure cell there that they started to create, because it's definitely not a full one. Sometimes they create them a partial one just to have one ready. You know, it's kind of interesting how that works. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go right into the, not to spend too much more time on this one, we're going to go ahead and put this one back. This one's just riding a little. Need to adjust it a little bit. They're like glue. Some people sometimes take a 10 frame, they run 9. Like I do that sometimes with just honey supers. I'll run them 9, but you got to make sure they're evenly distributed. I even got a plastic thing in there that you sit it there and it evenly distributes them all, you know.
Spacer.
This thing keeps coming down.
Wow, you got a ton of these on this side.
Yeah, they're starting to. Ah, shoot, I hate that. I had a bad feeling it was going to do that. Yeah, they might go after me on that now. I've got to try to make some, just a tiny bit more room here. There. Oh yeah, see, I got space here. I can move these over. Okay, all right, girls. There we go. Usually if you gently go down, they'll move out of the way.
I just don't like that drop or a jerk or anything.
Right, jerky. They don't like jerky movements. You can hear when it, obviously when it breaks the seal.
Mm-hmm. I've seen a few ants on them. That's not really a big deal.
Nah, it's not.
They'll take care of them.
Pretty much, yeah. Everybody gets all, you know, unless they've got a really infestation, and I've never had that. There's always going to be some ants. Okay. So now we're down to the tripping over, and then you make sure you don't go tripping over your tools. See, this is where professionals with hundreds of hives, and unless they've got a bunch of employees, which then they cut down on their profits, right? I mean, by payroll, but where they have the time to do this, they do a lot faster, better job than I'm doing. I don't worry about it because this is all I have, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to run a speed. Now, see, a lot of times you'll find they're starting to comb this one over, but usually on the end frames, they don't usually mess with. I don't know why, they just don't. A lot of times you'll have your on each end, one or two on each end. You're not going to see too much going on there. At least on the, especially on the brood chambers. Yeah, they're really kind of moving around a lot. See, I'm probably leaving. Puff, 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 puff. Now, I guarantee you, from what I can see, is that queen is most likely in one of, in probably, I bet you that one right there somewhere. Because there's just not, there's not a ton going on in this bottom one. See, they start to tend to move up as it get, These frames have got nothing on them basically. These are all combed, but so they just tend to move up.
And the queen is usually going to be in between the frame or something, right? The queen doesn't usually come right out on top, right?
Not usually, right? Yeah, she's going to stay
somewhat protected.
Right. All right, so we're gonna close up this hive, and I think they're realizing that, you know what it is too is, I think they might be wondering, hey, where's the queen? You know, their house is divided right now, you know, and so those are some of the things I think that start getting them agitated too.
Put the gloves on because I had like one laying on my hand and I didn't have I just...
Did you already get stung?
No, I didn't get stung. I just had a reaction of jumping, and I don't want to do that. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So go into it slow.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give them a little smoke so that they go inside and I can start putting this... I'll smoke this one once I... And this is where you kind of got to be careful too.
Yeah.
I kind of like slide it a little bit so that they get out of the way rather than just plop it down. Ah, shit, they got me. All right. Yeah, they're starting to get agitated in this one. Oh man. See, I just killed. Not good. They started pouring out before I had a chance to. All right. Look at them.
Wow.
I'm not sure why they're doing that, but they'll get back into the hive. That's called festooning.
Okay.
Wow, look at that. All right, we'll get this one. Red ants. No, you don't want to be up there. I'm going to close you in and you got nowhere to go. Come on. Well, come back and open that a little later maybe when I'm out. Right on the joint. Yeah, it's just right on the joint. Certain places bug you a little bit more.
A little more sensitive.
All right, so put the brick back on there. Let me see if this is still... Yeah, it is still recording.
I think you just had the one hive open. Does it kind of like get the other hives going a little bit? Or?
Potentially, I don't. I've not really ever noticed too much of that.
Okay.
There's they'll end up making their way back in there. But
Yeah, it looks like there's a little honey on the ground. So.
yeah, they're. So just to kind of summarize on that one, we had a healthy hive. We obviously had lots of bees, lots of brood. We had honey stores. No evidence of infestation of anything. Even though we didn't see the queen, we saw evidence of the queen. So that hive, I'm going to say it's queen right. It's she's literally, I mean, literally been there within the last 1 to 3 days. So laying eggs. So.
If you need something, just tell me.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Okay.
So I'm going to go into the third frame here again.
And that's the propolis that holds them tight.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, it's on the ends. It's on in between. Some cross comb. There we go. Yeah, sure did. That's 2 for today so far. I may have to put my gloves on too. There we go, finally.
Oh boy, look at that.
Yeah.
It is full of honey.
Yep.
Holy moly.
Yeah, I'm going to put my gloves on because once they start stinging, once there's a sting or two, the message is out there.
Yeah, they're definitely liking my face for it.
Oh yeah. What's really freaks you out is, or can freak you out is, like I said, I had a rip in mine, didn't see it, a small one, and it got in there, and he was flying around inside the.
Yeah, that would freak me out.
Yeah, so slowly walked away and gently took my hat veil off. Oops. My wife just put new elastic on these for me. They're really tight, but I wanted them tight.
Yeah. Now lift this frame up to see how heavy it is.
Yeah.
This one's clearly got more.
Okay. Here, one thing you can do, I forgot the second page here was just notes.
Okay.
So we're going to call this actually Hive 4 down here. I didn't number those right there, but just put that as queen right. You know, everything, you know, basically everything was good. So far on this hive, the only thing that I do know is that I have honey, I've got bees, I don't see any, it looked like a good population of bees too.
Yeah.
And because they've gone inside obviously, and this is going to be, this is pretty much just full of honey, it looks like to me. So I'm not going to pull any more frames on this one, at least in this super. I'm going to go ahead, whoops, I hate when things jerk. You know, that's one thing, you always have to be kind of, stuff that's really tight and then all of a sudden it gives on you, you know?
Yeah. You slide this one back in?
Yeah, we're going to put that one back in. You want to give it a whirl?
Sure. That's really full too.
Okay.
As long as I'm doing the work, they don't like that.
Actually, you know why? I saw one get crushed on this side.
Oh.
Yeah, so they sensed that, or they saw it and sensed it or whatever, but that's why they all of a sudden got...
Sorry.
No, there's nothing to be sorry about. It happens. I do it every time I check. There's no way around it, really. You kind of like... And you know, there's two of us here, so I'm in the way. You don't always, like you say, you don't want to get around the front entrance for the flight patterns, but a lot of times you'll stand here, that way you can see both sides. On that side, you're limited to this side, right?
Right.
So that's just a normal, you know, that's going to happen. No, not right yet. This is a heavy one. Very heavy. Oh, wait a minute. Is it? Man, you know what? That's the problem I've been having with this hive, and I haven't figured out which. I thought I'd solved this. It must be this super must not be sized properly. So here's what I got to do, and this is what's a real. This is when it can be a real hassle. I got to prop it up a little bit, and then break loose.
That frame and stuff.
Yeah.